What is up, guys? Another episode here today with another nominee, Content Creators Experience. If you guys have not seen the past episodes, we're just highlighting all the nominees that you'll see at the second annual award show, highlighting a lot of creatives, fashion bloggers, entrepreneurs, creative, just highlighting really the industry of creatives in general. So I'm so excited for you guys to actually see another nominee here. We have Fab today. Thank you, Fab, for joining us. She gets to really tell us a lot of what she's been doing. She got a lot to tell us. All right. I see all these businesses that she's involved in and things that she's been doing. So I'm so excited to really tap into that. But also, as you guys know Your Worth is a platform where we're able to really share someone's story, not just share the success, because social media does a really good job at that, but to tell you the story behind these individuals. We all have a story. Everyone has a story, but it's what you do with that story and how you overcome it. And that's what we want to talk about today. So, Miss Fab, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me on. Such
Tell
an honor.
people, tell people, even though right now we're interviewing, tell people what are you really doing?
Actually, I'm taking time out for self. I'm in Punta Cana right now.
Yeah, she is on
I-
vacation. So thank you for your time to even say, you know what, I'll give you an hour of my vacation time, even though I could be at the beach right now, sitting by the pool, having a nice little drink or eat some good old food. We definitely thank you. And I want you guys to know that she is a founder of a nonprofit. She is an author. She is a designer and she's a creative, creating a lot of opportunities for others to really network and engage with those like-minded, giving back to the community. So she's really creating events at all times. And you can see that she just spoke about how she's taking time because she just opened up 2 locations. So a very, very busy woman, and I want to know all about it. So, Miss Fab, can you just talk to us about the events or the centers that you just opened up here this past weekend?
yes, this past weekend, actually, just Friday, I opened up a resource center in North Miami area for the bereaved community because you guys know I'm also a B mom myself, which is stand for bereaved mom. So I opened one on Friday in North Miami area, and then one on Sunday in the Miami Gardens area. I had the vice mayor from Florida City, the former vice mayor of Miami Garden, the councilwoman, Lady Shannon Aguilar, was there to assist me with the ribbon cutting also at those locations.
I love it. And those are some very high names. Where does the connection come from?
The connection comes from Vice Mayor and I before from Florida City before he got elected. Him and I and one of my B moms, like I said, B mom stand for bereaved mom, that I have a private support group, have a resource center in Commissioner McGee District 9 office, and I've been helping her getting everything together, everything you can think of as far as business wise, resources and so forth. And him and I became to start the work by through connection with Miss Letha. And then, like you mentioned, I do a lot of events throughout the community that helps everyone. So one of my annual events is called the Daddy and Me. So he co-hosted that event with me last year.
Nice, nice. So keeping those relationships open is going to be key. Feeding those relationships to make sure that when the opportunity comes and you need a helping hand, that these people can show up. Don't just take and don't give back, right? In
Correct.
this case, you're always giving back, which is why others are willing to give back to you. So thank
Correct.
you for touching on that. Now, we do want to talk about the bereavement centers or bereavement resource centers that you mentioned. These centers were put in place to help those that deal with deaths in the families. Is that correct?
That is correct. It originally started because I have a support group for just B moms. Like I said, the B moms stand for bereaved moms. And then I just started mentoring and providing different services that was needed because when God called my son home back in 2017, I had no idea what I was going through, how to get from step one to step two, how to get me back together. And everything that I was looking for, I could not find besides just connecting to a regular therapist or a group therapist, and so forth. So I had to learn a lot of different things, and I had to create a lot of things that I needed to get me to how I wanted to be, which is, like I always tell God, never allow me to lose my smile, never
Come
allow me to
on.
lose who I am,
Yeah.
never allow me to give up on me, never
Mhm.
allow me to give up on my dream, my passion, and things that I'm passionate about. So basically, ultimately, I just created everything that I needed to bridge that gap to move me forward.
Love it. So you're definitely one of those that she's gonna go make her own lane if the lane doesn't exist. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
I
With
hear it.
God in
I
the
hear
midst
it.
of it all, guiding me through it.
Yes, I love it. I love to hear that. And do definitely sorry for your loss, but it seems like you were able to really pick those pieces up and say, you know what, I don't want someone else to have to go through this alone. So that's where the resources centers were actually created to give back in that sense. So going back, I mean, you're a very giving person, and here we are, two centers in this past Friday that we're just been able to open up. So thank you, thank you for that. So now we're gonna and we're really gonna probably come back in full circle and talk about all of these. But designer, where does that come from?
Oh, I've always been a creative with that. Like I've always been a fashionista. So I've always liked to create my own pieces. I always like to just look differently. I'm the type of person when I step into the room, I have to be a showstopper. I have to be a showstopper. So being that I am, that's where pretty much it came from. Since I was a little kid, my mom would give me things and I'll put things together and I rip things up and I fix them up. And then she's like, okay, that's not what I gave you. But I was like, that's what I like. Now it's
Yeah.
me.
Wow. So this was something very young that to this day you just still doing, huh? You're creating your own lane, creating your own clothing, your own fashion, just creating who you are, just staying authentic to you.
Exactly. And then it also came about where, because of that, I create a fashion show every year. It's called the CB Showcase charity event. And this year is going to be our 10th year. And we're going to be having our 10th anniversary on my birthday, which is fall on 9/9. And you know what I told you earlier regarding 23 being our Jordan year. So 9
Yeah.
9 23 is our 10th year anniversary.
Wow. 10 years. I can only imagine there's been some tough 10 years though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
people hear 10 years and that's a huge number, but that is 10 years of learning, 10 years of getting it right, 10 years of losing some sleep.
Consistency.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Consistent. Yeah.
Discipline.
So don't get it
Consistency.
twisted. These 10 years
Don't
didn't
get it
come easy.
twisted. Correct.
All right. We'll talk about that in just another bit. Let's talk about becoming an author. When did you become an author and what is the book about?
That came about when, right before the pandemic, I had three miscarriages because I was trying to replace my heaven son that God called home. And every time I was like, oh my God, no. At the time, I didn't know I was trying to get pregnant to replace something that I lost and not realizing that I never really lost my child.
Mm,
God is holding him for me. So why am I constantly trying to replace something that is still here? Just like God is still here.
hmm.
So I had to learn that 3 times by having a miscarriage where I had 3 children that I was unable to name. But also, he also made me stronger with all of that as well, and to be able to relate more to my other B moms, because I have B moms that only had just miscarriages. So now I'm more relatable to them, to being able to help them with their next step.
So there's definitely not understanding why you're going through situations, but now really seeing why you went through those situations. And that's a tough thing that God will put you through some things that you're unsure of at that moment, but then down the line, not realizing there was actually a seed planted for something else, for a conversation
Right.
to have with someone, for an opportunity to really change someone's life through just maybe sharing your own stories. So wow, wow, you have a
Right.
story. And okay, so we're gonna also touch back on that because you just right now
I know.
you do it all. You do it all. I don't know how you even how you have time for a vacation. Um, and then you started a nonprofit. We have the Lou Foundation. What is that about?
That is all about my heaven son, Lou, who God is holding upstairs for me. It's all about bridging the gap for the bereaved community that society don't really like to talk about. And then coming from a Caribbean descent family, Haitian American to be exact, a lot of us, and I'm speaking in general, don't believe in therapy. Some of us that's more spiritual believe that just God is going to be able to help you through whatever you're going through. But you need both in order to get there, because I'm the success story. So if I'm one of the
Mm,
success story, trust me, you need both. And you
mm,
think that the therapist just became a therapist without God? Everything is God.
mm.
There are God children. He put them in place to help you.
You talking right now? You're
Acknowledge
talking.
that.
We're gonna stay right there on that conversation because therapy, we're going into Mental Health and Awareness Month, and therapy is something that people don't want to talk about. And they don't talk about it because you probably grew up in a household that just didn't talk about it. It was a very uncomfortable conversation, and you just kind of lived with all these struggles and all these horrible situations that may have happened to you. You're still holding on to them, and maybe sometimes is the reason that you can't move forward. When did you find the strength to say, you know what, it's God, but I need to find also what is here for me now? When was that time?
When God told me to reach out to my pastor, he started counseling me and my husband and the kids at home. He told me I also need to seek help. So I seek help by myself. Tried it out. A couple of times I was like, no, that's not going to work. You don't understand me. And then God was like, Fab, I need you to be a little bit more open minded. I need you to be a little bit open minded. Try it again. So I tried again. And then I started going to group therapy and I brought the kids. And there was having problem at first, but then eventually they started, being okay with it. And everything from there just kind of progresses because we all was seeking help. We all was seeking therapy. And I made it fun and cool. And again, like I said, it was in the midst of when the world shut down too. So it was like I was doing homeschooling. I was doing a lot of different creative way. Because like now they don't have like home ec. There's a lot of things they don't have within the school system. And I was blessed that my kids go to private school where they have a little bit more things than public school. We're used to being online with the kids all the time and so forth, and the teachers and everybody communicating with each other. So even them too, they understood. I had the therapists, the counselors, everybody going to their school, giving them the time that they need during school because it's a different. People always forget about the kids. Again, being a Haitian American, a lot of us, our parents is like, no, whatever they say goes. So you're not
Mhm.
even allowed to express yourself. You're not
No,
even allowed to say, hey, mom, dad, I feel this way. And for them to just be like, okay, even though I don't agree, but I understand. Let me hear you out. There's no such
no,
thing. So I had to do
no.
differently with mine.
Yeah, you touched on something like that because I even hear people say, when a kid does express themselves, you don't know what I had to go through, and it's like it's not about you. You know what I mean? It's about the child and their feelings that are so valid, and we have
Correct.
to tap into, okay, why are you feeling like that, and
Correct.
then try to help them versus just shutting them down, because then it shuts
Correct.
them down for years to come. So
Correct.
you talking right now, and I love it. I love that you talking on this
Correct.
on these
That's
topics.
all that unhealthiness
Yeah,
that
yeah.
builds up as an adult.
Yeah, and then we wonder why people are in the mind spaces that they're
Broken.
in.
Correct.
Um, wow, this is going to be a good conversation. I already see it. So, when you're talking about therapy and going and then saying, you know what, I don't know, this is for me. Was it more of just not wanting to, I would say, let go, or was it also trying to find the right therapist?
A combination of all of the above. Because I kind
Okay.
of went through more than one therapist before I
Yeah.
found the right one that I was comfortable with.
Hmm.
And it was like, I don't know if I don't know if this for me. Again, remember, as a Haitian American, that's not what we thought.
Yeah.
So it's like retraining myself, retraining my mind, reprogramming everything that I've been taught to do something different that ultimately gonna work for me, but not realizing it at that time if that's gonna be the case. But because my faith is so strong in the Lord and I'm listening to what He's telling
Amen.
me to do and being
Hmm.
obedient, regardless, it was like, Fab, just do it. That's it. That's why I
Yeah.
love the Nike sign. Best slogan
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, so simple. That whole "just do it," like something that you'll never forget. And it's true, and it just speaks so much value when you think about just truly get up, do it.
Yeah,
It's not going to be easy. Get up,
not
do
at
it,
all.
right? But I wanted to just ask that question because a lot of times people go into the therapy realm of things and they do find that one bad therapist. I wouldn't even say bad. I'm not even going to put that on them, but those that
Just
may
not a
not
fit.
align. Yeah, it just don't
Yeah,
align with them. It don't align with the vision. The energy may be a
right.
little bit off. They may not understand you till you're the full capacity, and that's okay, right? Because not
That's
everyone
okay.
is for you anyway.
Correct.
But find that person, right? I was just kind of talking
Correct.
this on an earlier interview. It is find that person that really fits you. It's the same way that you're trying to find a husband or a wife that is for you. It's the same way that you're trying to find a career that's just for you.
It's
That
simple as
therapist
that.
is going to take some time, so
Correct.
don't just
And
give
be
up so
patient.
easily. Be patient. Patience is
Be
key to a
patient.
lot of success stories, right? Let's
Hmm.
talk about patience. how much patience did you have to get where you're at today to be as successful as you are?
Oh my God. You mean the house fell down. You have to pick up all the pieces, put all the bricks together, and it falls down again. You have to pick up the pieces as you're screaming and yelling and falling down and still have to continue. Again, my faith in the Lord kept me on, pressing on,
You know,
pressing on.
love it. What are some of the things that you've done in life already successfully, that you just never even imagined?
Oh my God. Raising my kids, being in relationship for almost 2 decades and being married to my husband of almost a decade.
Mm,
That and foremost is my
mhm,
success. That's the one that money, you can't put no price tag on that at all. And that's the most important thing to me. And also just having my baby meaning my businesses, being so consistent with Lou Foundation, with our programming like consistently with all the program with the Daddy and Me, that I had to create because there was a need for that. Because I realized when God called my son home, I wasn't the only one that was grieving. My
yeah.
husband was too. It was a disconnect with the kids. Just like I had a disconnect with the kid. That's why I created the Mommy and Me. And it's kind of like an event where it's like twin edition because I always wanted to have twins. But instead end up with 5 kids.
Oh man.
So the events is kind of like it's not just a particular event. It's like a programming because we do a lot of different activities that helps you with listening skills, understanding skill, bonding skill, where they have to do things together and they have to listen to each other in order for everything to work. So that really helps. So even my husband was like, I don't know how you came up with that, but that is needed. So the first year I did it, it was kind of like a test run, and he was like, no, you should do it again. So, and I kept doing it. And that's why I said even last year it grew even bigger, where Vice Mayor, Mr. Thompson of Florida City, was my co host with that event.
You got some good stuff. You got some good stories. Um, let's talk about the marriage for 10 years.
Oh,
People look at 10 years. 10 is a lot of 10 is really big for you right now. We spoke about a 10
yes,
annual
we can
event that you got
showcase.
going on, 10
Okay.
years of relationship, of marriage, would say. So that
Okay.
definitely 10 is that number that seems very repetitive during this conversation. But 10 years of marriage, was it easy?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Even in the beginning of the year, I was like, yeah, I don't think this gonna work. I don't
Mm.
think that's gonna work. And I was the stubborn one. So I was like, no, I don't think that's gonna work. We had our ups and downs, our disagreement, our not seeing eye to eye. The communication wasn't really there. Again, my pastor, the same one that married us, the same one that helped us when our child transitioned, helped us. That was the mediator that we needed to talk to us and say, hey, for example, if you like to cook and he doesn't, you can cook. If he likes to clean, he can clean. You don't have to clean. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, okay. So, because, again, coming from a traditional Haitian American background, we all thought that the woman are the one that's supposed to do X, Y, Z. There's no
Mm.
such thing as the man supposed to do X, Y, Z. The man is just supposed to be the breadwinner, and that's it.
You talking
So,
something right now. We got to tap
listen.
into that. We got to tap into that because growing up, like you said, mom did the cooking, the cleaning, the washing, that like all these different things. And I would
Yeah.
always remember one time my wife, I sat there and I said, well, my mom, this is how my mom was. And she's
Oh,
like, we don't live in that generation no more.
at
Like
all.
it's 50-50. You know what I mean? If I'm cooking, then you come clean these dishes. Was that something that you had to just retrain the mind with?
Correct. We both did. We both did because Pastor Haywood, we used to tell us, no, whatever you really like to do, meet each other there. So for example, my husband likes to wash clothes. I hate washing clothes. I don't do that. You know, I don't cook all the time, and it's fine. We both do it together.
Mhm.
The cleaning we do together, the clothes I don't do, like the things that he doesn't do, I do, vice versa, and it works for us in our household. It makes us complete.
How
Where no
important was
one, is feeling no type of way as like, oh,
yeah.
the burden is all on me or whatever. No.
No, I love it. How important was it though for you to set that foundation with your husband to reach? the success that you reached over these so many years?
Again, marriage counseling, counseling. The one thing that society or whatever your ethnic background is that teach you, no, that's not it. That is it. That is it. While keeping a strong spiritual belief, that is
Yeah.
it.
I'm happy that you talk about it, because 10 years, people, it doesn't come easy.
At all.
Right. And it's still, and I'm pretty sure 10 years in, it's still not easy. It's going to be a something that you're always working towards.
Yeah.
Because that's how you make it greater, right? That's
Correct.
10 years of greatness, and it's only
Correct.
getting better. You guys are still finding out things about one another, because we start to evolve as people. So the relationship starts to evolve, and from there, so I mean, hats off to you. I love a good
Yeah.
old marriage story on how we can learn from one another. And ideally, it seems like you guys were able to learn from each other in this case.
Yeah.
Um, so, where do you see this these resource center? Is this something that you're seeing on a global platform? I know that you started off very small, but we're going to speak into existence, and we need to speak it very high up. Do you see
Yeah.
this as a global thing? Is that what your goal is?
Absolutely. You hit it. That's why I went like this. You hit it right there. Boop. You hit it. Global, our app, where I'm working with someone to trying to create our app. Because like I said, remember it started off with just a small support group that I have just designated for just the B mom, which is bereaved mom. And just to touch a base on that, because a lot of people say, what is the bereaved mom? A lot of people always assume that your child either had to die from gun violence or your child had to be 5 years old, 10 years old, and so forth. No, let me clarify that. The minute you take that pregnancy test, you become pregnant, you are a mom. Because a lot of my mom that had miscarriages or what do you call it, stillbirth, or they were pregnant through the tube and so
Hmm.
forth, they feel like they're not a mom. There's no such thing. You are a mom.
Hmm.
So once that child is lost, you are a B mom. So yes, you qualify to be in our group to receive all the services that you need.
And what's some of the services? We talk about services. We talk about the resources. What are some of the services you're providing for these women?
We do like group counseling. Again, like I said, everything that works for me to get me to that next step is pretty
Mhm.
much what I'm also providing in the resource center, because I was blessed enough to be connected to a lot of different specialists and professionals. Because even on the North Miami Resource Center, they have a medical building downstairs. The Miami Gardens has a medical building. I believe in checking your overall health. So when they come in, we do a one-on-one assessment to go over, everything with them so we can find out what the needs are and how to better target what that individual need, because everybody is different. So we want to make sure when we do the intake that we go over all of those things to properly, have you set up. But we do two programming, which is an 8-week programs for the women's only, and then we do a 12-week programs for the overall family, men, children, and mom.
That's pretty dope. And even as men, I don't think we understand until we're in those situations, right?
Correct.
We talk about miscarriages. Unfortunately, same thing on my end with my wife, where she had two miscarriages
It
prior
hurts.
to our first child, and then another miscarriage prior to our second child. And I don't think as men, if you haven't gone through that with a woman, you understand what that feels like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is they're still, their body is still producing a child, and when you go through the
Hmm.
miscarriages, now they also have to, get rid of the whatever is going through the insides, and it's hurt mentally,
It's hard.
physically, emotionally.
To me.
Um, and for a man that is there alongside his wife, it could also be emotional, because you have to
Very.
see her go through that, and it's never good to see someone go through anything. You have to
Correct.
have strength and courage. So hats off to what you're doing, and taking some of your um I'd say tough times, and
Mhm.
overcoming them, and saying, what can I do with these times? A lot
Yeah.
of times we go through situations and we don't know what to do with them, but you say, you know what, it made me stronger, let me go help somebody else.
Correct.
We're on this earth not to be selfish,
At
but if
all.
anything, to give. And through all these moments of you going through situations, is how do I give back at what I've learned, what
Hmm.
God put me through? Now I have to share that testimony. And that's what the platform's created to hear stories like this because it's so impactful that people know that they're not alone, and you're
At
letting people
all.
know that you're not alone, right?
You're not
This is
correct.
the beginning of what's to come. This is going to be a global thing because it's happening all around the world,
Yeah.
and we want people to know that they're not alone. That is so amazing. Did you
Yeah.
come from a very giving family? Is that your background?
Yeah, it's in my DNA. Like I tell everybody, my mom, cause like when she left Haiti and we was in New York before we moved to Miami, in Opelika and Miami Gardens area, she used to send stuff to Haiti. I'm like, Mom, everybody is in New York, Chicago, Canada. Why are you sending stuff to Haiti? She was like, because I have friends and because they have friends or because some such and such need this. And she spend her money and spend things. Also, that's why I give back to the homeless community quarterly because of my mom. Also, I've seen that from her. I used to help, so my kids in turn do it with me also as well. That's nothing that I have to force them. And I'm like so blessed to have kids that's like myself and my mom that love to just give back to the community and pour on
Mhm.
unto others besides their self. From my mom.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. And it's you talk about your kids and them doing something, um, touch something else. It's not what we say, is what we do.
Right.
You can say one thing, but it says you see your mom do something. Maybe at that moment you weren't understanding of it, but look what you're doing nowadays. Your kids the same thing. Maybe they're not understanding completely of it, but because they're seeing their mom doing it and how happy it makes them, we always want to find what happiness feels like, and what we want everyone should know what happiness feels like. And a lot of times it's just truly just giving back that makes you happy. Surrounding
Yeah.
yourself with good people. How important has it been for you? I'm pretty sure you've probably been in relationships or friendships or things like that that may have not been right for you, may have not been a fit. How important is it for you to surround yourself with good people?
It's very important because I believe in energy is transferable. So the energy that I like to give, I like to receive. So I like to always trying to connect myself with that same type of energy so it doesn't drain me. Because a lot of time if you tend to connect with negative energy, it's going to drain you no matter what. It's going to drain you. So you need to try to stay as much, upbeat as possible and surround yourself with a good supportive system. And again, I am so blessed that God have always connected me with so much
She'll be right back with us. But really good story when it talks about what, and she said it through multiple times on what God has really been able to provide. And it's finding someone that you believe in and something that you believe in and just continue to cherish that. And Fab has found it in God. She's been
yeah.
able to put God at the forefront of everything that she's done, which has brought her so much value. Get back, Fab. I wanted to make sure that they
Yeah,
understood exactly
yeah,
what you're trying to give us.
yeah. To piggyback off of that, when we was talking about the kids also as well, my kids was able to travel with me to LA to feed the homeless. We partner up, and that's another thing that I like to do is partnering up with other organizations, giving back. And the thing that you said about going global, that's why God is making sure He's taking me from different state besides Florida to do the same things that He has me on assignment to do. We went to LA. I partner up with Sharing Love with Others organization, Maxine. We flew in, me, my kids, and my team. We helped her. She feed the homeless every Saturday on Skid Row in California. We did an amazing job. She's supposed to be soon coming down to our upcoming feeding June 25th in Florida in return. So when I say energy is transferable, look at God.
Yeah. Um, right. Look at God. Look what his God has really been able to provide. Um, do you growing up, did you see this in your future as a young little
Not at
girl?
all. I was just always an active and athletic kid. I used to run track. I used to cheer. I used to dance. So that's why when you see, I said earlier, I asked God, never let me lose my smile. Because I've always been like a smiley, smiley person or always happy, no matter what type, no matter what life was bringing me or no matter what was going on. I've always been like that as a child. They used to call me a chickmunk because of my cheeks. But that's always been me.
Wow. Wow. Sometimes we don't know why we do things or why we go through things, but I can only imagine life did you well. While there was some tough times, life is continued to just blessing and pouring down all over you to kind of give back, and really God using you as as his piece here on earth to make sure that the work is still continuing. So definitely hats off to that. What are some of the challenges you say you experience as an entrepreneur, as a creative, even writing that book? Were there some things that you've encountered, maybe doubt, maybe not wanting to pursue it? Like, what are some of the challenges that you encountered?
Yeah, I doubt you mean I've lost so many friends, so many family members because they did not believe in me. They did not think that, the things that I was telling them that I'm going to do that I would do. It was just so heartbreaking because as human, when the people that's close to you, when they tell you you can't do this or they, betray you, you start to feel a certain way where it hurts. So if you're not able to take that hurt, that pain, and to use it as strength to press on, to persevere, then you're going to get into a place where you're going to get stuck and you're going to stop believing it also that, oh, you can't achieve that. You can't do that. That's not you. That's too great. Then guess what? Then it's going to become impossible. But like I tell
Mm,
people all the time, even in the word impossible lies the word
possible.
possible. So therefore, there's nothing you can't do if you want to. There's nothing you can't do if you want to. Because if you want to do something and you ask God to guide you, it will come to term. It will come to pass, no matter what.
Mm.
No matter what.
So you said this experience was family. It was also friends, close friends.
Yeah, I
I
was
want
really hurt. I was
I
really
want
hurt.
people
I'm
to
not
know
gonna
that.
lie.
Was it easy?
No, it was not easy. Honestly, that's the part that social media don't really see or hear us talk about. That that a lot of time that we're really hurt by the ones that we love. The one that we want to for them to believe in us the most are the one that don't believe in us. And then when a stranger come and believes in you and see the greatness in you, it makes you sad where you should be happy. I'm speaking for myself. It makes
Mm.
me sad because I look at it like, oh my God, this individual is who I care for. This individual is who I've been knowing all my life. Why they're
Yeah.
not supporting me? Why they're not giving me the same amount of love that I'm giving them? But here come a stranger giving me so much love. Again, flew out to Jacksonville to connect with another organization. Her name is Nikki, Silent Women Speak Foundation. She received me and my BMOM group with so much love, so much love. So things like that really hurts us. I mean,
Mhm.
when you see us putting on a smile and pressing through and carrying forward to get the assignment done, it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that it doesn't bother us. For me, it
Mm.
hurts a lot because I'm a Virgo. I'm a very emotional person. So it bothers me. It hurts me. But I know what God have me on, the path that He has me on, and the assignment is greater than me, and it's
Mhm.
for them, it's for His people. So no matter what, I'm gonna persevere through it all.
Amen.
And to be able to open 2 resource center in one weekend, like my councilwoman said, this is unheard of.
Yeah.
But you know what? God did it, not Fab.
Mhm.
God did it.
Mhm.
God did it in the midst of me crying, in the midst of me wanting to throw in the towel, in the midst of me want to say, "Oh my God, I can't do this. This is too much, Lord. You want me to do this by myself? You want me to
Mhm.
do all of this work?" Then I had to think about what He says to me. Fab, are you doing it for people or are you doing it for me? Fab, are you doing it for people or are you doing it for me? And once I remember that, the North Miami Center been open since 2020. When those videos goes up and then you guys see the LBT, it's going to say 2021, 2022, 2023. And now we're finally opening the door. Tell me that I did not press to. Tell me that I was not obedient. Tell me that I was not resilient. Tell me that I was not listening to the Lord. To be able to pay, you have a mortgage already. You paying 2 mortgage, 2 light bills, all these additional bills because it's that resource center is for the people. It's for my
Mhm.
bereaved community. It's because they need the same type of help that I was looking for that I never received. And he kept saying, Fab, just because it's not ready yet, are you going to give up? Are you going to press through? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for them? Or are you doing it for me?
Hmm.
And I said, Lord, I'm doing it for you. Have your way.
Yes.
Your will, not mine.
Yes. Listen, I'm gonna take this whole clip and we're gonna have to. I'm gonna give it to you because you got to post that clip. People don't understand that. And when you spoke about those that don't believe in you, people would have given up, but you realize it was so much greater than you, right? Because
Bigger than me.
it becomes sometimes a selfish world out here,
Very
and people think about themselves. But
correct.
this resource center was not about you,
At all.
you know. So for you to push through, and there was a times like you mentioned where we're we're going to have people closest to us doubt us.
All the time.
We're going to have people that we think should be alongside us
Hmm.
not show up.
At all.
But because somebody else doesn't show up, do we not show up? You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Someone's not going to believe in your vision because it's not their vision. Someone's
Correct.
not going to have the passion the way that you have the passion because it is not their passion, you
Correct.
know? But you really found people in alignment with you, you know, by being you,
Correct.
authentically you, never losing who you were, never losing the purpose of who it was for. And I just commend you. I commend you. You can see the passion that you just had having that conversation, and I hope that people that are in those situations can see that
Yeah, because they called me
this was
stupid. It
true
was like,
passion.
are you kidding me? You
Uh,
paying for that place is not even open. You paying for it every month. Are you wasting? You wasting your time. You wasting your money. You just, and you're not even getting help. It's not like the government is helping you. So you
but you
taking
know
it
what?
out your own house.
Those same people will come back. Those same people will come back, and at that point, it's not that it's too late, but they already showed you who they were. And believe me, they will show back up. But when someone shows you who they are, you better see it the first time. You know what I'm saying? And be able to forgive because God has always put it
Of
into us
course.
to forgive, but not forget when you were in a time of need, who was really there for you. And that's why you praise these council men and women and you praise these other organizations, because in a time of need, if it
They step
wasn't for
up.
some of these people, then how do you really take it to the next level? How do you
Correct.
overcome those sleepless nights, those nights that you have to cry, those nights where you was like, is this really it? Should I be doing this? Should I give up? It's the people that you surrounding yourself, that you build a relationship with, that you network with. It's a seeds that you planted a long time ago that as you were watering them now actually really get to grow. And that organization, that resource center, was literally a seed that you were planting, and you just had to water, and you just had to water. And while
And
there was those weeds around that were trying to eat it all up and tell you to just let it go, and we're talking about the people that
yep.
you said, "Nah, let me pick them through. Let this doesn't belong here." And you were picking them through, and you were just throwing them to the side while it was hurting. So, oh my God, this is so good. This is really good, and I hope that people are taking from this.
In the midst of it
Um,
hurting, you're crying, but you're just, okay, God.
yeah,
I love her. I love him. Stay focused, Fab. Stay focused. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm so happy. There's going to be so much more grand openings, so much more centers, and so much more people that are going to be impacted. What do you tell a young Black woman that is in a time where they feel unsure of themselves and maybe they're through that dark time in their life? What do you, I mean, it seems like you've experienced a lot where you can really be a voice for someone. What do you tell that young Black woman?
Take time off for yourself. A lot of time, us women don't know how to disconnect. That's another thing that God showed me how to do, is to disconnect and be okay with disconnecting, no matter who take it personal or not. It's to be able to balance, meaning that has boundaries, set boundaries. Because if you don't set boundaries, oh my God, you're gonna get overwhelmed with a lot of things in life. So for me, the what I would tell them is set boundaries, take time out for self, meditate, If you're spiritual, I'm not sure if you're belief or not, but I believe in the Lord. Speak to Him and know that you are never alone, even when you're still standing there by yourself. That God is always with you, and be patient and give yourself a little bit more grace.
Mm, yes. There's so many people, men and women, but especially of color, that sometimes we feel unheard,
Yeah.
unseen. The passion that you just had, people may look at it as aggression, but not really just understanding that it is truly a passion for what it is that you believe in, for what is called upon you. So I'm happy that you really have the platforms and the opportunities to do what you do, because you're truly going to be making an impact that's so much bigger than what you ever think and believe in, you know, all because you listened and all because you executed in a time where someone told you it's stupid. And we tend to hear that through our lives over and over and over. It wasn't just that moment, right? It wasn't just through this part of your life. I can only imagine it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
20 years ago. And you just have to find yourself and stay true to yourself. Um, because you're on vacation, I don't want to take too much of your time, right? It's a happy place. Got to keep that smile on. I want to end the question with, what was that know your worth moment, Fab, that you realized like, I'm living in my purpose. I'm doing this, and no one's going to tell me that it's stupid or that I can't do it, because you knew your worth. What was that moment for you?
That moment for me was pretty much being connected with Vice Mayor of Florida City, being connected with Councilwoman Shannon Aguilar and Miami Gardens. When I tell you those two individuals will call me on a regular basis and pray for me and tell me who I am and reassure me that I am great, that I am a force to be reckoned with, that I am powerful, and speak life over me, then I felt, oh my God. I've always asked God to connect me with greatness that I look up to, that I admire, that would believe in me and not question the work that He has me doing and the line of work that He has me doing. That when they come in, is that, what do you need help with? Not to do, change this, change that, do it this way, do it that way. But how do you want to do it? When do you want to do it? And be okay with that, because they know it's not about me. The message always come through me from God. And I just need you guys to help me execute it. And that has happened. And I am
Mhm.
grateful. That's why our signature all white affair was sponsored by the city of Miami Gardens. October is bereaved month. A lot of people don't know that. That's another thing that I bring awareness through every year. Because a lot of time people just think October is just cancer, breast cancer, and domestic violence. No, it's child death month. So it's bereaved month. So we honor all three, because I like to share light and I like to be make sure that everyone is aware of whatever the awareness is. So our all white affair in October was sponsored by City of Miami Gardens. Me and Councilwoman partner up, and we put on a great all white affair. And I cannot wait for this year when we do it again, because that's one of her
Mm.
baby that she took in that she's helping us with.
I love it so much. Do you have any other events that are coming up anytime soon?
Yes, our second quarterly feeding is June 25th. We call it the B Moms Brunch. So that's why when Channel 6 came out and they asked us, they was like, "What is this?" We was like, "It's called the B Moms Brunch." Because for me, everything is always an experience. The same way that I like to be treated, I like for everyone to be treated the same, no matter what. So the love that God gives me is the love that I like to pour into the world. So that's why a lot of time you'll hear us say, especially my BFF Jasmine, she would say God's people, where someone would say homeless or less fortunate, she would say God's people. And indeed, I would
Mm.
say you are absolutely correct, because we all are God's children.
Is this held by the organization, or is this
Yes,
just on a
that's
personal
Lou
project?
Foundation. Lou
All right, so
Foundation.
let's go ahead and put that website on there. So if you guys want to just tap in to know some more of the events that are coming up, make sure that you guys visit the website at loufoundationinc.com. You'll be able to really keep up with a lot of the things that she's doing in her community, a lot of the things that she's doing to really give back and to shed a light on the B moms. right? I think
Correct.
that's an amazing thing. You can also follow her social media. This is her social media here as well, Lou Foundation Inc. You guys can also see there all the things that she's been a part of, all the different events that she's speaking about, and just continue to connect, because in order for us to do good, we got to surround ourselves with good. So
Correct.
I'm so happy with who you've become, everything that you've had to overcome. And I can only imagine that this is just the beginning. You just getting started.
Just getting started. Just
As
getting
much
started.
as people look at it like, oh, this is a lot, she
Yes.
just getting started.
No, I'm
All
just
right.
trust me, I'm just getting started. That's why God was like, I know the Virgo in you want to make everything so perfect. Open the door. And I was like, God, but I want to put this picture up here. I want to do this in the resource room. I want to put this couch over here. And he's like, Fab, no. Open the door. I said, okay, Lord, have your way.
Yeah.
Open the door. Just like Noah's Ark. Build the
Mhm.
ark, they will come. So that was my
Yeah.
message. Open the door, they will come.
You got messages for days. Listen, I wish I could take some more of your time, but I know you're enjoying yourself in Punta Cana. Enjoy yourself. Take that time to, refresh yourself, because I know I can only imagine when you get back, it's back to go time. You got so much to get, started, and so much work to do. And we just thank you for
Oh
your
my God.
time. Thank you for being who you are. We can't wait to see you at the second annual Spotlight Award. Now we see why you were nominated, and these nominees have been just so tremendous. I love to hear everyone's story. We all have a story, but it's what you do with that story, and is how you just take all the negatives and become something greater, right? You don't have to be your past. Your past
Oh,
actually influenced you to be who you are today, greater in life. So don't get too stressed on what happened in the past as a young child, or the past relationships. But what did you take from it? What did you learn from it? Is the most important part to put into your life today. And we can see that through the testimony of Fab. So we thank you so much, guys. Remember to go ahead page at Content Creators EXP. Go to the website, contentcreatorsexp.com, to get your tickets. I don't know even know if you know, Fab, but the tickets that are actually being sold, we're giving a percentage to two different organizations. Both of them are, I believe, in Miami. One of them is called Filling Empty Wombs, that deals with a lot of what you're kind of talking about when it comes to miscarriages and things like that. But
mhm.
we're giving a percentage of every single ticket, and the sponsors, we're actually giving back to these organizations, because
Oh, okay.
Evelyn, one of the ones that actually created and started this organization, is also about giving and networking, and just shining the light on women and men that want to give back, because there's
Awesome.
not enough of us.
At
All
all.
right, there's not enough of us. But I hope to see you guys there June the 28th, guys. Fab, it has been an amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and
Thank
I
you.
can't wait
Thank
to see you in
you.
Miami. You take care.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.